But there's a lot of things going on in the world, and I have some important information to share with you guys from the past. I'm going to share a prophecy with you that most people don't know about. I don't know how many of you people have heard of Dimitri Duduman. Dimitri Duduman was a Romanian citizen, and he was living in Romania during the communism, and God brought him to the United States in the 1980s, the early 1980s. He brought him here with only suitcases and the clothes on his back to warn the United States of America of the coming destruction of our nation by Russia and China. Dimitri Duduman did not speak English, but God told him to go throughout America in the 1980s and 90s. Go from city to city, town to town, and warn the citizens of the United States of America that America would be destroyed in the future by Russia and China by a surprise nuclear attack. Now, this was during the 80s when he first started his ministry. Dimitri Duduman died, I think, in 1998. I think he died in 1998, but his grandson translated for him as he went from church to church during the 1980s. And I have one of the early prophecies right here. I don't know if you can see this. Adrian and I were going to I think a Messianic church. I think that's where we got it. Anyway, over 20 years ago in Florida, when we lived in the state of Florida, we went to this church and they were passing out the prophecy for America from Dimitri Duduman. So this paper, I'm not sure if it's 20 or 25 years old. These are some of the prophecies that Dimitri had in America or for America, that the nation of the United States would be destroyed in the future. So let's skip ahead about 40 years. And it does look like Dimitri Duduman's prophecies are coming to pass. What I'm about to share to you, folks, is very startling, that God gave Dimitri Duduman a vision of the future of President Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping of China and their war plans and how they would act together and how Russia would launch a surprise attack against the United States of America when China starts to take over Taiwan. This is a prophecy that many of you have not heard. Most of you have heard of this prophecy right here. This is the general prophecy that went around America about 40 years ago, about how America would be attacked by Russia, the cities destroyed, how it would start. In this prophecy, Dimitri Duduman said that fighting would start in the middle of the country. And then while the United States government was busy trying to put down the rebellion, that Russia would launch a surprise nuclear attack on our nation, destroy our nation. That's the prophecy that probably that most of you are familiar with. But there is a book called Dreams and Visions that God had given Dimitri Duduman, many, many prophecies concerning a lot of subjects and the United States of America. So I'm going to read you an excerpt right now from the prophecy of Dimitri Duduman back in, I think, 1996, either 1996 or 1994, where he described, listen to this, Dimitri Duduman described what is happening right now today. Over 20 years ago, he described what is happening right now, even before Vladimir Putin became president of Russia. Even before, I think, Xi Jinping rose to power. So, folks, you might want to record this. You might want to share this video out, because it seems like Dimitri Duduman had a vision of the future and seen what was going on right now in the world. So what I'm taking you to is called The Hand of Help Ministries. This is the ministry page from Dimitri Duduman's website. His family now runs the Helping Hand, which is a Christian organization spreading the gospel around the world. But I want to read you this prophecy. And this is very startling. And this prophecy was given to Dimitri Duduman, it says, on April 22nd, 1996, 2 years before he died. A vision received by Brother Dimitri Duduman on April 22nd, 1996. I prayed and then went to bed. I was still awake when suddenly I heard a trumpet sound. A voice cried out to me and said, "Stand." In my vision, I was in America. I walked out of my home and began to look for the one who had spoken to me. As I looked, I saw 3 men dressed alike. 2 of the men carried weapons. One of the armed men came up to me and said, "I woke you to show you what is to come." And he said, "Come with me." I didn't know where I was being taken, but when we reached a certain place, he said, "Stop here." A pair of binoculars was handed to me, and I was told to look through them. "Stand there, don't move and look," he continued. "You will see what they are saying and what they are preparing for America." As I was looking, I saw a great light. A dark cloud appeared over it. I saw the president of Russia, a short, chubby man, and he said he was with the president of China and 2 others. So let me stop right there before we finish reading this. Now, President Vladimir Putin is a short guy. He's not a tall guy. He's about 5'5" or 5'7". He's very short. He's not a big guy. Russia, China, Iran, and Turkey has just concluded a meeting about a month ago. President Vladimir Putin flew to Tehran, Iran, the capital of Iran, and the leader of Turkey was also there, Recep Erdogan of Turkey, which is a NATO member. Iran is now supplying Russia with kamikaze suicide drones and a lot of attack drones. Right now, they're using them in Ukraine. So there were 4 leaders in this vision that Dimitri Duduman saw. One was the president of Russia. One was the president of China. There were 2 other leaders, but he didn't know who they were. They could either be the leader, Ayatollah Khomeini of Iran, or Recep Erdogan of Turkey. So there were 4 leaders. So let's continue to read this prophecy given to Dimitri Duduman back in 1996, which describes the president of Russia as a short, kind of a little chubby man, and the president of China. He said, "As I was looking, I saw a great light. A dark cloud appeared over it. I saw the president of Russia, a short, chubby man who said he was and also the president of China and 2 others. The last 2 also said where they were from, but I did not understand. However, I gathered that they were part of the Russian-controlled territory." The men stepped out of the cloud. The Russian president began to speak to the Chinese one. "I will give you the land with all the people, but you must free Taiwan of the Americans. Do not fear, we will attack them from behind." A voice said to me, "Watch where the Russians penetrate America." I saw these words being written: Alaska, Minnesota, and Florida. Then the man spoke again, "When America goes to war with China, the Russians will strike without warning. So we're going to stop there. And I want to let you know that Nancy Pelosi has just stirred a hornet's nest a few days ago by going to Taiwan. China warned the United States of America over and over and over again not to let Nancy Pelosi come or to land in Taiwan.